It's like when we're doing an intro and you just want to sit with us. What do you got to say to everyone?
Such a proper girl.
You say hi? You wave? No?
No,
She's like, I'm waiting for you to do the intro.
just waiting.
So?
Hi, I'm Tom,
And I'm Kyle,
and this is Nessa.
and this is Gaslight Update.
Baby! So here we have Battle of Zendikar. It is the 68th Magic expansion. The first of the Battle of the Zendikar block when they start doing the two paradigm blocks. Last time we had Shadows of Innistrad, Eldritch Moon. Now we have Battle of Zendikar. And then afterwards, Oath of the Gatewatch. You know, we do see that there's other cards that are in this expansion. Kyle, you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so we got Zendikar Expedition lands. They're all premium foil cards. There are non-foils as well. They're in this Zendikar frame, so they're one of one. There's a bunch of different types of lands in there as well, such as the shock lands, the fetch lands. There's 25 expedition cards appearing with Battle for Zendikar. And there's also 5 dual lands included in this framework. And then there's going to be 20 more cards from Oath to the Gatewatch. So there's a lot going on here. I think that's why these boxes are going for $225 a box still, considering this is before they created the set, the draft, and the collector's box. Tom, what are we doing?
We'll go into them a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah. So here we got the themes and mechanics.
Yes.
With the themes and mechanics that we are seeing here, we have the Eldrazi, the colorless matters, colorless instant, allies, and landfall to make the return in the Zendikar block. And landfall now sometimes is land specific, so it's honestly one of the best mechanics. The 5 new mechanics that we do have here, we have the void. Kyle, what the void is? What are we devoid of?
Yeah, so it is devoid of color, so it has no color. It's most likely going to be an Eldrazi as well, or it turns into an Eldrazi. It's going to be a staple inside of that tribal specific.
Going a little bit further, we do have the ingest. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. Not really a mechanic that I'm going to be seeing in today's Magic.
Are you talking about ingest?
Yeah, I mean, I have indigestion all the time. But
I got some Pepto.
good thing you always got that Pepto, baby. Don't forget your Tums, too.
Mm-hmm. Like I've said, the only thing I could see ingest being used for is with like an Ashiok deck.
I mean, there's a couple things that you could do. Probably the only thing I do see ingest being very fun with is putting in a card that is, let's say, Elite Spellbinder. You put it on the battlefield. With that, you're exiling a card, making it cost 2 more to actually cast. And then you're saying some of the cards, what they do have is that you can take that card and put it into the graveyard that's in exile, put it to the graveyard, and then all of a sudden that card that you just exiled with Elite Spellbinder is now in the graveyard.
Got it. So
I have a fun little thing you could do with that.
I would never use it for that.
Immediately.
Yeah, we also have Awaken with a cost on it.
I mean, with Awaken, basically what you are looking at is if you cast this card for X amount, it would say the exact amount. It would be like, let's say 6 with 3 islands. You can pretty much pay the kicker cost to have this effect where you put N being Awaken 6, Awaken 5, you're going to put 6 or the 5 +1/+1 counters on a target land, and it becomes a 0/0 elemental with haste. So you get to have an extra effect, like maybe counter a card, pay the Awaken cost to it, you'll counter that card, and then put, let's say, Awaken 3 +1/+1 counters on target land. Just a little bit of something. It's a kicker cost. Pretty expensive though. I really wouldn't recommend it in today's Magic whatsoever.
Yeah, because you always talk about how you can just destroy now a land as well because it turns into a creature.
Exactly. But here we also have another one, Rally. Oh, you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's an ability word that gives an advantageous effect whenever an ally enters the battlefield. It's basically for tribal. You're just going to be getting an extra ability whenever you put a ally into the battlefield. So unless you're planning on running an ally tribal deck, I don't see this being a very advantageous effect in the future.
Yeah, maybe back in the day during Standard when that was part of the rotation set, but besides that, when it comes to Commander, it's definitely not going to be seen in today's play. And then last but not least, we do have Converge. It's an ability word that gives an advantageous effect for each color of mana used to cast a spell. There are some cards in there that could be pretty good. Kind of on the fence on a couple of them.
Maybe in Wooburg. Like that's the only Wooburg decks are the only type of decks I can see this.
But that's pretty much it for our themes and mechanics.
There's a lot going on in this set, a lot more than the last few that we've done.
Yeah.
Next up is story time. I want to do story time.
All right, do a little bit of story time.
Battle for Zendikar returns the storyline to Zendikar, a plane of adventure, many treasures, and potent mana supplies.
Woo!
The plane is
Get
littered.
this man some mana.
The plane is littered though with large rocks that were created by Nahiri. She trapped
Who?
Nahiri.
Oh,
She
hear that.
is a planeswalker of the plane. She's been around for a while. I believe Core. She was a member of a Core tribe, Core ally tribe, and then
Core lithoform.
yeah, she though trapped Eldrazi's in those rocks with Ugin and Jace. Somehow they mess it up, and Nissa does not trust Soren, so she releases the Eldrazi's, thinking that they would leave Zendikar far behind them, destroying the shit out of the other planes. She was dumb. 2 years after the initial destruction, at least, Ulamog is still around. Now Gideon and the Power Rangers.
The Gatewatch.
I'm never letting you write this portion again. I forgot that you made all of these changes. The Gatewatch face the Eldrazi alongside Zendikarians.
They literally saw Ulamog and it's like, it's morphin' time! And then, of course, Obby Boy, Ob Nixilis, like, what up, dog? He is trapped and wants to get out of the plane, too. So he's right with the Eldrazi, where the Eldrazi want to get out of their rocks, but destroy the world. And that's your story.
Thanks, Tom. Alright, this is going to be my commander. It took me 15 minutes to decide on him because Tom took Omnath, the obvious one. But it was a good one overall because I used to love Eldrazi decks back when it was the original ones. Back in like 2009, 2010, I believe is when the original block came out. Tell me I'm wrong. Definitely wrong. But Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. He is 10 generic mana. He's a legendary creature Eldrazi. He's a 10/10. When you cast Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, exile 2 target permanents. It has indestructible. Whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library. Top 20 cards. That's insane.
Exiled.
Yeah, you're not getting them back. You're not getting them back.
Nope.
And then I found this really cool combo that is an infinite card draw, infinite draw triggers. You know, it's going to be a near infinite storm count.
Who are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm stepping my game up, doing a little bit of extra research on it. So it needs to have all these permanents on the field.
4/4 combo fucking crown, dog.
I'm getting there. But you want to have Sensei's Divining Top, Mystic Forge, and Ugin the Ineffable out. Sensei's Divining Top is an artifact. It has 1 generic. You tap 1 generic, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. Then you can tap it and draw a card, put Sensei's Divining Top on top of its owner's library. Ugin the Ineffable is going to have the ability of colorless spells cost 2 less to cost from me. And that's the only reason why I want it. And then Mystic Forge is you may look at the top card of your library at any time. It is 4 generic. It is an artifact as well. And you may cast artifacts and colorless spells from the top of your library. So that's why I need it as well. Then, when I have all 3 of these on the field, I can use the draw ability from Sensei's Divining Top, put it back, draw my card, put Sensei's Divining Top on my top library, use Mystic Forge's ability that I can cast things, artifacts or colorless from the top of my library, and because of Ugin the Ineffable's colorless spells I cast cost 2 less, I get to play Sensei's Divining Top for free the rest of the game, so I get as many draws as I want. Just a little something right there.
He did it, folks.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. Growing up in the world of combos. Thank you, EDH Rack.
I wish I had a crown right now.
Thank you.
Be the Burger King crown.
Appreciate it, but that's going to be all for it.
Who's your commander? And that's right, Kyle. I'll tell you right now, there was only one good commander in this set. Besides that, all the rest were left. How do you feel about it?
Feeling amazing.
Yes, he's feeling so good, he doesn't even know what the heck I'm talking about. But I'll tell you right now, when you look at all the other commanders, it personally wasn't that great. Kyle probably took another extra 15 minutes to actually find a different commander. But Omnath Locus of Rage is probably one of the best commanders that is in this set. With this commander, we're looking at 2 green, 2 red, and 3 generic. It is a legendary creature elemental, has landfall ability. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. And whenever an Omnath, Locus of Rage, or another elemental dies, you're going to deal 3 damage to any creature or player. You're just going crazy with landfall, and we all know all the landfall commanders that are out there usually just pop the fuck off.
And it's red-green.
And yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, and those are the cards that you do want. You can definitely play with some graveyard recursion with the lands. You know, having Crucible of the Worlds, having Raminap. You guys all know those staple cards. A couple new ones that have recently came out. We're looking at Blossoming Tortoise that came out for Wilds of Eldrazi. This one I really do want to test with Omnath or just like any type of landfall. It is a 2 green, 2 generic creature turtle, 3/3. Whenever Blossoming Tortoise enters the battlefield or attacks, you mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tab. So it's going right to the battlefield and as it enters, and then activate abilities of your lands cost 1 less to activate. So that's pretty huge. And your land creatures get +1/+1. You're going to be running this Awakening, the Planeswalker, and you're going to be turning your lands and creatures. They're getting buffed.
I see Faceless Haven being in this. You know,
it's good. It's really good. And then going along with that, Virtuous Strength. That has the ability, if you tap a basic land, you're going to get 3 times as much. It's a Nyx Ancient Bloom in a enchantment that is hard to remove. So that's pretty good itself. And then have Entis Restoration with this deck as well. You know, sacrifice a land, search your library up to 2 basic lands, and if you have a legendary creature out, or no, excuse me, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you're going to put 3 lands onto the battlefield tab. That triggers on that 3 times. That's 3 5/5s. That's 15 damage right there. Pretty good.
There are Terror of the Peaks onto the field.
Even better.
Oh, that would be an insane combo right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. What do we got up next, Tom?
We got your fire fades,
Yeah,
Kyle.
that's right. My fire fades. Thanks, Tom. It's gonna be fellow.
Just go, bro. Just go on with it.
It's gonna be Felidar Sovereign. Kind of boring, but still. It's 4 generic, 2 white. It is a cat beast. It is 4/6 vigilance and lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game.
Oh, what do you use this card with, Kyle?
Oloro, Ageless Ascetic.
All I do is gain life.
Yeah.
All I do.
If you like life gain, this is a card that should always be in it. It's an easy win con if you keep it on the field. I mean, it's 6 mana to get in. You're going to not be able to get it in much faster.
If you like life gain, you are boring. Stupid. Watch it. All the life gain people are coming after me
just
now.
like a giant L on my forehead, too, because I love life gain. L for life gain, not loser. So next up, though, I've got Kiora, Master of the Depths. It's 2 generic. It is green-blue. It is a planeswalker. It comes in with 4 loyalty counters. So what makes me love this
I
is
like that you chose this one.
Yeah,
I like this one.
It is a ramp card. It is draw. It is put big, scary blue octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield. Like, how do you not want this? It also is untap to 1 target creature and up to 1 target land. So you're getting
It kind of comes out for 2 mana in a sense.
Yeah, If I have Ugin the Ineffable out, yo, for sure.
Well, no, I'm talking not Ugin the Ineffable.
Oh, because if I
plus
one it, I get to untap target land.
And Nanodork, creature and up to 1 land.
Oh yeah, true.
So guess what? You got 2 remaining mana, so it's like you casted it for 2 mana.
There you go. Finding them combos right there. So my last one is going to be Dragon Master Outcast. It is 1 mountain, cost human shaman 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, put a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield.
I like that.
Put it in your dragon tribal decks. You know you're going to be ramping your deck as fast as possible to put dragons out. Why not have this in? Just throw in for 1 mountain. Be able to have this, get to create 5/5 dragons every turn. Now, hopefully you don't have too many turns because you should be winning by then.
There's a lot of good dragons out there that do end up ramping a lot. So to get to 6 lands, you could do that within almost 2 turns at most. You can get this out before you know it, turn 3 or turn 4, you're going to be pumping out 5/5 red dragons.
I've done it with Tiamat as my commander.
Even better is if you start running Time Warp, Time Walk, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're taking extra turns, pumping out more 5/5 red dragons. They're flying. They hurt. They're evasive.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go over to Tom's fire faves.
I ended up opting out to get the lands, but the art is pretty sick. And surprisingly, they're a bit more pricier than most of the commons and uncommons in here. But there are some good commons and uncommons from this set that actually pertain to a lot of the newer cards, especially Valakut Invoker. So this card is a mountain, 2 generic, human shaman, and it has the ability, pay 8, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. This will go in my Agatha deck. With Agatha, you're going to be reducing ability costs, and if you can get it to the point where you can get infinite mana, and you're going to pretty much reduce the cost of Valakut Invoker, you can get to the point where you can just deal 3 damage endlessly to your opponents, and you win the game. That's one of my favorites from this set. Besides that, the other one is Retreat to Coralhelm. This card is a staple piece for untapping your, I don't know, let's say a Walking Atlas, right? And then with that, if you have some type of infinite loop of bringing a land onto the battlefield and off and back onto the battlefield, untapping your Walking Atlas that brings a land onto the battlefield, you're creating an infinite landfall trigger and infinite mana trigger. So a lot of things could happen, especially depending on the landfall triggers you have, right?
Yeah, that's in my Landfall Galadriel deck. It's Scry and Landfall. How do you not put that in that?
That's true. It's an uncommon. You know, you're buying this for less than, I think
I paid like $1.30.
Yeah, I think it's like just a little bit over $1 for that one. And Valakut Invoker ended up going up in price because of Agatha and Agatha's Cauldron. So, and yeah, no, with those, all the Invoker cards ended up going up in price. But that's my fire faves. They're pretty fire. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.